Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Monday Morning Mojo. I'm your host, Anna Gibbs, and today I want to share something that when I read it, it just really spoke to me. And it was a social media post, 7 things you might need to hear today. And I have taken those 7 things and really thought about them and came up with some content that I think will really help you today. Maybe one, maybe all of them will. I think sometimes the right words at the right time will shift our mindset, restore our faith, or simply just remind you today that you're not alone. So let's get into it. Here are the 7 things I want to share with you today. The first one is bad days don't last forever. Even the hardest seasons eventually pass. And I know when you're in it, it might be hard to think that way, but think of a storm. The ugliest, nastiest thunderstorm. It's messy, it's loud, it's frightening, but it always moves through. And so, right now, if you're in a tough spot, I just want to remind you this is a chapter. It doesn't have to be your whole story. Just hold on. The sun comes back. I've been there too many times in my life. I've had some really dark nights. I've had some tough times. I've had personal trauma. I've had professional conflict. I've had personal turmoil. I think we've all had times where we felt low, challenged, just overwhelmed, even. But when you look back, you realize you persevered. You were able to figure it out. And maybe it didn't come instantaneously, but you figured out a way to cope. You figured out a way to create positive change. And I bet if you look back on some of those moments now, you'll even see the lessons you learned. I know I've learned a lot from my past experiences. Recently, someone asked me, what in my past would I like to erase? I don't know if I would. I don't know if there's anything in my past I want to erase. I can't say I necessarily want to go there again, and I would want to avoid being there in the future. Yet I don't know if there's anything I'd want to erase because every experience I've ever had has taught me something so valuable. And I have grown because of it. And I've seen a lot of positive things to come out of the bad experiences. And the lessons I've learned have shaped who I am. So how could I want to erase that? Erasing the bad experiences would be like erasing a part of me. And so I believe that we have to be willing to see that the darkest moments are soon going to turn into a light at the end of the tunnel. There are ways you can cope with it, of course, that might be different for all of us. Some of us cope with stress or trauma in different ways. I think it's always about looking for the positive ways to cope with it, right? So if it's exercise, meditation, talking to someone, looking for support, looking for professional advice or therapy, counseling, coaching, so that we can draw on that and really get the tools that we need. And listen, sometimes just being able to read inspiration, words of wisdom, scripture, all the things that really help lift you up can be certainly a huge part of changing the way we look at things. And if you're in it right now, I'm just sending you a big hug because what I also want to say is this is part of life. It is the cycle of life. We know that there are always going to be seasons in our life. There are going to be some ups and then there are going to be some downs. There's an ebb and a flow to everything that we do. And I really can't say that there's one setback in my life that didn't turn into an opportunity for some growth and learning. And there's beauty in that. At some point, you'll be ready to see and hear that. And for those of you who are on the other side of it, I think it's true. You're probably nodding your head with me right now. So I just want to encourage you. I want to support you. And again, remind you that bad days don't last forever. The second thing I want you to hear today is that you deserve to be happy. Not because you've earned it, not because you did something, checked it off the list. You deserve to be happy simply because You are you, and you are here. Yeah, because you exist, happiness is not a reward, it's a birthright. We have every opportunity to find happiness. We have the right to be happy, and you are worthy and deserve happiness. And sometimes you need to hear it. I think sometimes we need to be reminded of that, and we need to give ourselves permission to pursue happiness. And here's what I have come to know to be true. You will achieve higher levels of success when you find your happiness. It is happiness that comes first. It's not when I achieve success, I'm going to finally be happy. No, when you find your happiness, when you are pursuing what matters to you, what brings you joy, what you find fulfilling, that leads you to become more successful in anything that you do. So I want to just ask you right now, where have you been denying yourself joy? Where have you been cutting yourself off from connections, fulfillment, fun? Where have you been shrinking back or playing small? Or where have you been making excuses to say, right now, I'm just too busy? Stop, because you deserve more. You deserve happiness. You deserve joy. You deserve to go out there and have some fun. And if that's something that you have not really made a priority, I hope hearing this today changes that for you. Okay, number 3, it's okay to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress. We are always going to be a work in progress. I know that my life and the path in front of me is honestly the journey to just figuring myself out. I think that we all have to be honest about that. We should always celebrate how far we've come. The person you are today is nothing like the person you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or even last week. Have you stopped recently and given yourself permission to acknowledge how far you've come, how much you have figured out, how much you have changed and grown, and what you have now been able to accomplish? Even though you might still be working on a lot of things, that's fine. It's okay. You can keep working on what's next and realize and acknowledge that you have really done a lot of growth. You are nothing like the person you once were. There's so much beauty in becoming and stepping into the fuller expression of yourself every day. And here's the other thing I think someone needs to hear for sure is this. No one has it all figured out. Not me, not anyone around you, not the person that looks the most polished or successful in the world to you. They are a hot mess just like the rest of us. And so we have to get real about that too, because we're human and we're complex. And so I don't care who it is that you might be working with. I don't know who might be in your friend group. I don't know who it is that you follow on social media. It doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you they don't have it all figured out. So why do you think you should? Why do you think that you should have it all figured out? We expect so much from ourselves, and that pressure can lead to a lot of feelings of inadequacy, feeling less than, or feeling like it's just never enough. And here's what I need you to know. My words of encouragement for you today is give yourself some grace and some space and acknowledge how far you have come. Let your growth show up in your thoughts. I want you to acknowledge all of the work you've been doing and all of the things you have learned and all of the things that you have done. And it is paving the way for what comes next. And so you're always going to be a work in progress. And thank God we're always going to be a work in progress. Imagine if you just got to the best you could be at the age of 20 or 25 or 30 even. What would the rest of your life look like? I love knowing that I'm always growing, and I love knowing that who I'm going to be in a few years is nothing like who I am today. That I'm going to be better, smarter, wiser, faster, or maybe even more calm, more wise, more respectful, more strategic, right? The list goes on and on that I'm going to continue to learn and develop, and so will you. And so you need to hear that today. It's okay to be a masterpiece. It's okay to say that you've mastered a few things while you admit that you're still working on a lot of other things too. All right, number 4. Oh, this is a big one, guys. This is another thing you definitely need to put on repeat. What you need to hear today is do not let anyone dim your light. You just need to let it shine. You were not meant to shrink back to make others more comfortable. You were not put on this earth to play small so others can feel big. You have a light and you need to let that light shine because no one in this world is like you. There is no one like you. You were meant to lead, inspire, wake up the people around you, teach people, listen to people, right? Support people. There are so many unique gifts that you have. You were given those gifts for a reason. So why hold them so close to the vest? Why walk around with them in a box and not share them with other people? How rude, right? Imagine if I came into your house and I had this delicious plate of brownies. I just want you to think about that for a minute. I come over to see you and I bring with me the most delicious, chewy, gooey, chocolatey brownies you've ever seen. And I have it all wrapped up pretty on a platter. And you can see how yummy those brownies are through the wrapping. And you can probably smell them too, right? So you're getting a sense of how good those brownies could be. And yet I walk around your party holding on to them really close to my chest, and I don't let anyone get too close. At some point, you would all be wondering what I was doing holding on to those brownies and not sharing them with the rest of the people around me. You'd probably start to think I was a little rude, actually. I know this is a crazy metaphor, but think about those brownies representing all your unique gifts. Think about the brownies being all the talents and wonderful parts of your personality and skills and experiences that you have, all the things that you have to give, your natural talents, and you hold on to it so tight and never offer and never share. That's not fair. The world needs what you have to offer, and you are worthy of giving it to people. So allow them to see who you are. Allow them to see your light. Let it shine. Because remember, you were not meant to shrink to make others comfortable. I'm reminded right now of one of my favorite poems. I'm sure you know it too. It's by Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear, right? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I just love that. And we'll have a link in the show notes for you. If you have not seen that before, we'll make sure you can get a copy. It's actually part of her book, A Return to Love. So if you haven't read that, could be another great thing to put on your growth plan. All right, let's continue with the things I think you need to hear today. And we're up to number 5. And number 5 is it's okay to ask for help. Yes, it is okay to ask for help. Strength is not doing it all alone. I have learned that real strength is knowing when to reach out. I think that we have to be okay with saying we might need more support. We might need someone to help us figure it out. We might need answers. We might need just someone to hear us, but it is okay to ask for help. It is not a sign of weakness. It is absolutely a sign of strength. We weren't made for isolation. We were made for connection. We as human beings want to connect with each other. And so, who can you reach out to today for support? What is something that you have been trying to figure out? What is something that you would like to accomplish? What is something that you're struggling with? What are some answers you're seeking? And who can you talk to? And who can you call? Because I guarantee you they are waiting, honestly, for the call. They just don't even know it. But as soon as you make the reach, they're going to say, sure, I'm here to help you. I think we have to believe that people want to support us. People are there and they want to help us. And it is, again, not a sign of weakness, but totally, I think, a sign of strength. And yes, is it a little vulnerable? Sure. But I know that vulnerability leads to courage and strength, and it leads to really opening ourselves up to more possibilities. And so, who can you reach out to today? Or how can you be the person for someone else? How can you make sure that other people around you know that you're willing to help, that you're approachable and available, and that there's no judgment? That you will be willing to give advice or listen or share resources and just do that with a space for that person that says, this is for you, with no attachments, no ulterior motives, and no judgment. Number 6, you're doing the best, and that might be enough right now. I was talking to someone just the other day, and they were really struggling with some things that was going on with their son, and they were working through some things through counseling. And that counseling was revealing some things, right? Some feelings that her child was holding on to, and making her start to question whether she's done all the right things as a parent. And I wanted her to know, and I want you to know that maybe we don't do all the right things all the time, but we're doing the best we can with the knowledge that we have. And I think that we have to be okay with knowing that when we know more, we can do more. When we know better, we'll do better. But at any given moment, whatever you're doing might just be enough. And if we could stop measuring ourselves and our worth by that, if we could also take a look at all the things that we're trying to accomplish professionally, personally, in the community, for our children, for our partners, for our moms and dads, our spouses, all of the people that look to you for support, knowing that if you're showing up, you're trying. If you're showing up, you're giving. Your heart's in it. And maybe right now that's enough because you are enough. You are enough. You are worthy and you are enough. Stop measuring your worth by how many things are on your to-do list or how many boxes you've checked off on that list. And just understand that you talk to yourself more than anyone else in the world. So be aware of what you're saying because you're listening. And if you could believe that you're doing your best and that it's enough, what would change for you? What would look different for you tomorrow if you really believe that? And the last thing I have to share with you today, number 7, resting is not quitting. Self-care is power. I still work on this. Sometimes I talk to my husband and I say, oh gosh, I feel really guilty because I'm sitting here not doing anything. And he'll be the first to say, no, you are doing something. You're resting. You're recharging your battery. And it's so fascinating to me because I will talk about that to you. I will share that with the people I lead. I will work with people through that in coaching. And yet, when it comes to myself, I question whether I should be doing something, or if I take some downtime, should I be reading or recording another podcast or strategizing, or maybe when I go on vacation, that would be a great time to write a course or work on my book. And at the end of the day, I know I'm not alone. How many of you can relate to this? I will say this: rest is a strategy. It really is, because the way that we refuel, realign, and reignite our energy and our purpose, it matters. Burnout will not make you a hero. It makes you ineffective. Now, if we could really get more aware of our limits and our capacity, and if we could give ourselves permission to pause once in a while, you use your cell phone every day. What happens if you don't plug it in? If you don't recharge the cell phone, are you going to have it ready to use in a couple of minutes? No. So we have to give ourselves permission to rest. We have to give ourselves permission to recharge our battery. And we have to know that the pause doesn't have to be long. But when you care for yourself, you can give more. You can show up more for other people. You actually become more powerful, just like your cell phone. If I'm on 5% power, I don't have the ability to really work with that phone for too long. Same thing for ourselves. So when you care for yourself, you will be able to do more for the world around you. So resting is not quitting. It's a strategy. Self-care is your power. So there you have it. 7 things you might need to hear today. Maybe you just needed one of them. Maybe all of them were a great reminder. I hope at least one sparked something in you. If it did, share this episode with someone else in your world needs to hear this little mojo this morning. They need this message. They need to be reminded of something on the list, just like you were. And I would love to know what resonated with you too. So send me a DM or put it in our Facebook group. Share with me wherever you're listening to this podcast what your thoughts were. And remember, you're ready, and you're already more powerful than you think. So go out there and lead your life, love your life, and live it like you mean it. I'll see you next time.